Whoa, video. Yeah, hit the button twice, I think. Anyway, yeah, mostly going to be the economic stuff. You know, the Stefan Molyneux probably will play some more of his video. I want to read some of these comments. Don't know how, if I'll get through whatever I get through. Some of them aren't really on the right subject because I got all my comments from different videos. And, you know, I don't want to do whole videos on some of these subjects, so I'm going to just read some of these snarkier comments and just deal with them. So, Hoff of the day, the douchebag, you know, writes, you are rationalizing bad, lazy coding practice, concern over efficiency, file size, laughing my ass off. Well, again, you are ill-informed and a douchebag. Go look up the word bookmarklet. Go look up the difference between GET and POST requests to a server, and maybe you'll figure out and find out that yeah, there's a size limit to how much data can be sent down the pipe reliably. And if you want to make something stable and reliable and efficient, sometimes you have to make your code really tight and concise, or it's not going to work. And especially in bookmarklets, you don't have much chance at all of putting a bunch of stupid text in there saying this is what I did. Especially with the different browsers and stuff, because some have really narrow limits on how much information you can put into a URL as a request. So you're an asshole and a douchebag and a fuckhead. Yeah, pretty much. And so fuck you. Even if that wasn't true, even if the fact is I do it almost exclusively JavaScript code that communicates with the server, which has to be optimized and is going to be read by Perl scripts. Even if that wasn't true, the truth is that in the old days when I learned how to program, file size was incredibly important because computers were incredibly slow. And it really mattered how big the file was. And it really mattered how efficient the code ran. And so, you know, went through the interpreter, and if you could knock a file down to half the size, you could double the speed at which the page rendered. You could make the page render twice as fast if you didn't have a bunch of annotations in your code. It's just the truth, because all your JavaScripts has to be interpreted, and that took time. And on a 286 or 386 computer, it made a huge, gigantic difference. So you're just a fucking douchebag. I mean, really. Go wash your brain out with some sort of cleanser of some kind. Petty fuck. That's all you got to say. They're just petty fucks. They're just, you know, concede. Okay, petty fucks. They're just petty fucks. Alright, regarding inmendham video. Ripping Bongs Entertainment. Oh, I don't think I'll bother with this. Yeah. With this every aspect one. This is that monarchies were an oligopoly assigned to rule by the church through divine power, whereas nowadays they are assigned periodically by I mean, this whole idiotic thing that monarchies wouldn't exist with a church is just obviously nonsense. It's just silly. They weren't invented by churches, you idiot. The only thing that's changed is the means by which they are assigned. Again, it's not assignment, it's armies, you shithead. France, every government protects itself with an army, you stupid fuck. I'm curious as to how you came to the conclusion that anarchism, libertarianism is the same as feudalism. Well, I'm just saying that that's what the free market, it was a free market that created all of the power-hungry, swallow-everybody uppers. Okay, so maybe you ought to go on to Stefan Molyneux number 2. Okay, go to volume 2, you stupid fuck. And you'll have a little more of an explanation of how reality works. Whereas once you gain property, you can use that property, gain more resources, create more soldiers to take more property. That's how it happened, you stupid douchebag. Go even read the Bible, dumbass. It's pretty much straightforward in there. How do you think King David became King David? He swallowed everybody else up, you stupid fuck. Oh, God. God, you people are so stupid. Let's see. Stumbling up like that in the first few minutes is never really a good sign. Yeah, well, I didn't stumble, so you can just fuck off, fuckhead. Goodbye. Fuck you, idiot. Alright. What a fucking retard Steph is. Well, it's sort of a useless comment. I just slapped a $400, Steam bumper sticker, $400, yeah, well, okay, that's okay. Reasonable comment. Morbid atheist. Just put timestamps in there. Well, it's okay, I guess. Vegetarian gone wild, mad inmendham. I don't know. I'm not going back to that video to play timestamps, but whatever, that's just... That's not fair, Gary. He wasn't born, he was invented. Let's see. I don't think inmendham knows what abstraction means. I know what a waste of time means, and you're a waste of time. I mean, I obviously know what abstraction means. You're obviously just a troll. You can obviously go fuck yourself. Yeah, right. Let's see. But you are not logical. Oh, speaking of troll, the troll gullible. Gee, that's just so interesting. Not. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Hope to never see you again. Let's see. Everybody, even the positive comments are just inane rubbish. I mean, you people are just no help at all. Let's see. 40 chip. You're a retard. You're agreeing with all the points the guy actually said. No, I'm not agreeing with any of the points he actually said. You're just taking things out of context. No, I'm putting them in context, retard. Assigning the exact opposite opinion to him. No, I play in him and I'm talking my opinion about what he's saying and saying, that doesn't sound right, Steph. And then pointing out how he's a huge hypocrite, by the way. Then disagreeing with the opposite of what he said. Go take a shower. Well, go fucking die of cancer. Yeah, go do that, will you, fuckhead? Yeah, go ahead and do that. Dirty Chimp is his name. Yeah, it's, a guy called Chimp telling other people to take a shower. Please. Let's see. The English only colonized the Americas to stop the French and the Spanish getting it in my... laughing my ass off. I don't know what that is. Best of a bad bunch, one might say. Well, again, if the French or the Spanish didn't take it, which, they weren't in that big a hurry to really invest in it, to tell you the truth. They kind of had given up on it in many respects. But, the South American Indians were pretty much happy to take it. Now, I'd ask you, Avalanche guy, what the fuck is this bullshit exactly? What is all these spaces for? Huh? You think you're so fucking important? I mean, there's no extra text here. It's just, he just did this, I guess, because he wants to be important. I hate these people. Alright, that's some sort of positive comment. I won't bother. The Anaconda Vadia links to the, religion of pluralism. Like, we don't know what's going on. we can't figure out anything. Right is wrong and wrong is right. It just depends on how much you squint your eyes. Jeez. So, like you say, everything comes from somewhere. Then it follows that the universe and life came from somewhere. No, I never said everything comes from somewhere, so that's just not a quote. Okay, what I said is the cause and effect universe, ass white. And yes, stuff keeps banging into each other, and over time it gets to look kind of funky. Yeah, that's how it happens. Then it follows that the universe and life came from somewhere. Well, again, I didn't say it came from somewhere. It comes from a physical process. And the process is a big bang or some sort of initiating energy. Therefore, there is a creator. Yeah, there's a big bang. Yeah. And yes, we are robots and the universe is one great machine. The machine could have been created by other humanoids. I mean, it's just, it's just so stupid. Other humanoids that were what? Made by robots? Made out of dinosaur shit? Where did the other humanoids come from? Oh, other humanoids made them? and then other humanoids made them, and then other humanoids made them. We know where the life came from on Earth, retard. I don't know whether you've taken any science at all, but there's a thing called abiogenesis, okay? And all the genetic material on planet Earth came from one source, retard. And it was really simple at the beginning, 4 billion years ago, and then it's gotten more and more complex. No creator involved, no fancy anything. It's just like an eddy in a stream, an example I've given over and over again. Eddies in the stream can be very complicated, very nuanced, but it's just water going downstream. It's made out of a really simple and crude function, right? But the function gets complicated because of all the little barriers in the way, all the little nuances of friction. And that's what's in the universe, little nuances of friction, and it's just one big pinball machine, and every now and then the ball does something incredibly unusual because of just circumstances, you stupid fuck. Ugh, people are pathetic. Alright. There's no point in dwelling in diseased parts of mind. Parts that at the moment are hindering rather than helping. We could cry oceans about all kinds of things. Oh, shut the fuck up. Who knows what he's saying? It's babble. Stefan doesn't like any of the current governments. Why doesn't he and his bunch of anti-natalist friends buy private island? Yeah, we've all done that one already. Oh, here's the little avalanche guy again. Has more, read more. Let's see if there is more. Oh, there actually is this time. Alright, I lost my index finger. Sucks because I used to like to pick my nose a lot. Wow, you're just such a classy fuck. Nearly cut my thumb once at whale with a handsaw. You know, I really don't care. You know what? I really don't care. Alright, deterministic one. Okay, he's always complaining. Okay, why? I never said anything stupid or idiotic. What? This is an example of one of his stupid and idiotic comments that he posted on one of my videos. That, you know, I totally lose respect for him, and I say, "Who is this asswipe?" You know, you know, there's one thing Stefan and I agree on: taxation is theft. What is your take on that statement? My take on it is you're an ignorant fuck. Yeah, it's a little game you play with words, right? So if we say, are fees theft? So if we establish a fee for services, is that theft too? And, you know, I mean, give 5 million examples. I mean, your whole existence is theft, okay? Every breath you take is theft, okay? The producers of the oxygen, you didn't go to the producers of the oxygen and pay them for it, did you? When you take a step, did you ask permission from the things you're going to step on? Is it okay if I step on you, crush you, your kids? Is it okay if I crush your kids? Do you ask for their permission? No, you just steal it. You just steal the authority. So yeah, life is theft. You want to play games with the word theft? You know, what if I came to North America first, and I battled the saber-toothed lions, and I killed all the saber-toothed lions. So, and let's say 9 out of 10 people who put their foot on the shore got killed by a saber-toothed lion. But I showed up and I killed them all. But in the process, I lost both my arm and my leg. And so some other guy who showed up a day later said, "You know what, Gary, you lost your arm and your leg. I mean, the only fair thing to do here is have a little fee that people pay for putting their foot on this shore, right? I mean, you got rid of that horrible blight. 9 out of 10 of us don't die anymore. So yeah, it's only reasonable that we pay you something for cleaning America up for us." And so if they establish you got to pay 10 fucking cents because I lost my arm and my fucking goddamn leg, you're going to call that theft. Right? Fuckhead? Yeah, because you suck. And if we make it voluntary because you don't like being taxed, so we say, okay, we won't call it a tax, we'll call it a voluntary contribution. And so you don't donate. And so it says right there on the thing, well, this is how much it'll cost if everybody donates, then we all just pay 10 cents. But if some fucker doesn't donate, well, then you got to pay 12 cents. And if some other fucker doesn't donate, then it's up to 15 cents each. Now, if I was one of the 9 out of 10 people who said, "What the fuck, man? He lost his arm or his leg," I paid the 10 cents, right? And you don't pay the 10 cents, and I'm going to feel like you're stealing money from me, fucker. I'm going to call that theft. I mean, if 9 out of 10 of us agree that it's only the right thing to goddamn do, and you won't pony up and pay up, and you're going to take the same privileges as the rest of us of walking in a country with no fucking goddamn saber-toothed lions just chomping at your bones, you fucking ungrateful cunt. Why? Because you're going to play with a word, you fucking weasel. I mean, it's just such bullshit. Yeah, we're paying for civilization, duh. We have what's called a democracy, and you're bitching because you've lost the fight. Right, fucker? You can't make an argument, you can't win the battle, and so you're gonna whine and bitch like a little goddamn baby. You little fucking pothead. Yeah, fuck you. Really. I mean, I just wonder how much of a fucking anything you'd be. You know, if you got $1 million tomorrow, I wonder how pure your principles would be. All of a sudden you'd be sitting on your money like Mr. Rich bitching about taxes and shit, right? And I wonder how much you'd give a fuck about antinatalism. I mean, you still eat meat, don't you, shit fuck? I'm not sure, but don't you? Yeah, you're still a meat eater, right? You don't think it's theft? You don't think you taking their life isn't theft? You fucking thief. So I'll just call you a thief from now on. How's that? You're a thief, right? I'll just call you thief. Yes, I'm for taxation. I'm for taxing people for civilization. I'm for taxing people to build the Hoover Dam. Yeah, I'm for fucking civilization, you stupid fucking cunt. And I'm for democracy to decide what civilization we'll have. And I'm for everybody contributing to shit they're gonna fucking use. If you're gonna use the goddamn road, then you're goddamn gonna fucking pay for it. If you're gonna breathe the fucking air, you're gonna pay for it. If you're gonna live in the comfort of not having mountain lions eating you or fucking dioxin in your goddamn water, then you're goddamn gonna pay for it. You fucking ungrateful piece of shit. Yeah, Poodle Susan said something. Then why not speak of feasible measures like abolishing school levies and those for those without children? It's all grandstanding. You're goddamn right. Yeah, he has a kid too, right? You know, the public paid to raise his fucking kid for him. Did you pay the government back, fuckhead? You freeloading motherfucking cunt. Jeez, yeah. Well, oh yeah, good. What did I say? I don't know how you could be that stupid to think, oh yeah, Gary won't find this really irritating as fuck. I'll just throw classic Republican rhetoric on his fucking video so he has to waste his time explaining to me, the moron, you know, how that rhetoric is just so fucking illogical and stupid, simplistic and retarded. Way to go. Thanks, pal. Alright, great video. Inmendham versus Molinax. Let's make it happen. I'll pay. It already did happen. I mean, you know, whatever. A couple of years ago, we had a whole conversation. I mean, it was rather pleasant, actually, from what I remember. I don't know why it was, but it did seem like it was fairly pleasant. Yeah, so anyway. iPod 5 crap, UK crap, who cares? Love this. Fuck that. Smarmy little plutocrat. You know, these fucking plot of words. He's born in Canada, so that answers your question about the activities he was involved in as a child. Why did you pick this video out of the thousands of videos? Because it was the latest video he made, you stupid cunt. You can't even figure that out? Oh, I picked the video he just made. Oh, how crazy of me. I've enjoyed your rants, however, I'm beginning to think that you're trying to stack the deck. Well, then you can go fuck yourself. I mean, thoroughly. I'd like to see you have a true back and forth debate with Stefan. Yeah, well, any day, fuckhead. I would pay to see that. Well, why don't you go suggest it to Stefan, because I'm sure he'll do almost anything for money, you stupid twat. Oh, this guy has a comment on the other video. Yeah, he's put 2 comments on the same video. Larkin Rose. What the fuck is a Larkin Rose? Jesus Christ, I gotta look up some shithead with the name Rose. Fucking poofed her. Anyway, so here's a big long comment by this douchebag. Gary, you seem to have missed the obvious. The state serves the very blue bloods you despise. Well, again, that is just, well, quite obviously it serves them in terms of the tax code, but it didn't serve them until they elected Ronald Reagan, right? So let's get this right. So from the 60s through, the beginning of the 80s, the working class were getting richer and the richer were getting poorer, right? So government was working fine then, and government was as big and monstrous as it ever was. It had the highest income tax rate. So by Stephen's standard, government was at its most obnoxious then. All right? So it's only this new Republican government, all right, since Ronald Reagan and the Bushes, that everything went to fucking hell, cunthead. And you can't figure that out? Tax cuts for the rich every year? New Jersey used to have a fucking reasonably balanced budget as a reasonable economic theory here, and then everybody voted for that idiotic Whitman because she said, oh, I'm going to float all the boats like Reagan. And all she did was, the yachts floated and they flew away. He took all the money. And now they're selling lotteries for the money, selling cigarette tax collections for 10 years in advance to pay this year's budget. So don't tell me, you fuckhead. Alright. To continue to look to the state to protect the poor. The state serves the very blue bloods you despise, yet you continue to look at the state to protect the poor. I don't do that, asshole. Where do I do that? I might want to protect workers. So, it depends on the poor you're talking about. How much representation do you receive from the state? Well, it depends on what you mean by the state, doesn't it? How much does General Electric receive? Well, again, what does General Electric receive? What is your theory, asshole? General Electric does pay business taxes. They are regulated. There are authorities I can actually write letters to and get General Electric in trouble. So what are you talking about exactly, fuckface? Oh, how much did you pay in taxes last year? How much did GE pay in taxes? Why should a corporation pay taxes? Theoretically, right? It should only pay income taxes. It shouldn't pay business taxes. There should be no taxes on businesses. That's just a sales tax. Who do you think pays taxes you impose on General Electric? Who do you think is going to pay those taxes, those fees? Guess what? The customers are going to pay them, you stupid fuck. You got to tax income. Okay? Income that goes to people. I don't want to tax companies if they invest in their own company, if they invest in their own employees. I want to tax the fucking individuals who get the fucking Lear jets and all the other bullshit. You dumb ass. Why do you still buy the premise that the state is the vanguard of the poor? Again, with this vanguard, I don't give a fuck about the goddamn poor. Again, I give a fuck about working people getting paid their fair wage for their fair productivity contribution. They're the ones that make in civilization. They should get paid for that. Fuck her. Why do you still buy the premise that the individual is inherently more evil than the state? I didn't say it was more evil than the state. You're the assholes arguing that the individual is better than the state. You're the fucking jackass, the fucking shit for brains who thinks Google's our friend. You fucking retard. You're the one who thinks GE is our friend, that fucking Bill Gates is our friend, that I should have Bill Gates print my money. I should have Google print my money. I should have Google regulate, drugs on the shelf, like somebody selling herbs or something. I should have Google regulate it. Fuck you. Why do you still buy the premise that individuals inherit more even than the state? Power-hungry people aren't the only people who pursue careers in government. Yeah, well, we know that if you're going to make $1 billion in this world, the only fucking way you're going to make it is you're going to have to exploit one hell of a lot of workers. And that's the only fucking way. The only way you get mega wealthy is you have to fuck A whole bunch of people who did all the creating and all the real work. Because nobody, and you goddamn know it, nobody, Bill Gates came up with a scheme to rent us an operating system. That was his brilliant contribution to mankind. He didn't write the software. He didn't do a motherfucking creative thing. All he did was invent a scam to force us to rent an operating system rather than buy one. So we don't get to own something. No, we gotta pay bill taxes every fucking year to have a computer. So fuck you. Let's see. Power-hungry people aren't the only people in government. It's just altruistic people who pursue these positions, right? Well, there's somewhere in my argument that I was saying I was pro an unaccountable government. No. What I've said is the government should be double accountability. If you're a police officer, you should, all crimes you commit, you should get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times the penalty. Okay, you jaywalk, you should go to jail for 2 years. You get caught with marijuana, you should go to jail for 20 years. Alright, yeah, I say government officials should be held to the highest accountability. They should be executed. If they commit a real hard crime against the constitutional rights of any citizen in a malicious manner, they should get executed. If you want to be a government employee, you want the privileges of being a public servant, to doing the public's work. Well, if you don't like rules of being an honest guy doing that, then don't take the job, motherfucker. And we don't have that. And so once we have an accountable government, you're going to have a much better government. But right now, yeah, that's right, we let the greedy crooks in. You called bullshit on being born into debt around 2230. I called bullshit on being born into debt. You choose not to back up your perspective. I don't even know what that means. You called bullshit on being born into debt. What does that mean? You can't make a coherent sentence. You can't quote me. I didn't call bullshit on being born into debt, whatever that means. I never said that. I called bullshit on borrowing money. Yeah, that's right. All right, that you don't pay back. If the government intends to borrow money without paying it back, well, that's bullshit. State your argument instead of just calling bullshit. Well, fuck you. I did state my argument. I'll guarantee my argument's there, and I guarantee you're just a dumb motherfucker if you can't figure out what the fuck I said, because I know I said it goddamn clear. So fuck you. As intelligent as you appear, you should be able to see through the value equation that our federal government has expanded beyond its intended role. Again, so your definition of expansion beyond its intended role and my definition are going to be completely different, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable cutting the military down to 10% of what it is now. Yeah, so I got no problem with that. And I got every kind of will for us to spend more money bribing countries like Iran and Iraq and the rest of the third world into becoming civilized. So I'm all for giving them, instead of blowing them up with the money, I'm for bribing them to become civilized and to become our friends and do business with us in a decent manner. So yeah. But what exactly? What would I take out of federal government? What would I stop regulating? What would I do? All this bullshit. I certainly get rid of the government union. Okay, the whole idea of government employees thinking they're entitled to have a union. No, I'd guaranteed rights in the United States Constitution, worker rights, and that would be where all workers have rights, not just government workers. So fuck you, government workers. If you think your job is to protect yourself, fuck you. Either protect all workers, or, in my opinion, you're not the friend of the working man. So if you're just worried about your group of workers, fuck you. Yeah, so any union who isn't trying to exercise power to force better working conditions for all workers can go fuck himself. So yeah, fuck the government unions. Fuck the teachers union especially. Anyway, beyond its logical or beneficial role from the point of view of the lower and middle class, yeah, beyond its beneficial role, yeah, you know, Look, I'm for civilization. Civilization has something called infrastructure. I'm for government doing it once and doing it right. I'm for Hoover Dams. Dumb fucker. However, it's very beneficial to large corporations and banks. Not if you don't involve large corporations and banks. Again, who privatized everything? Ronald Reagan, shithead. When we landed on the moon, it wasn't a bunch of private corporations that landed on the moon. It was NASA. And most of the people working for NASA were working for the government. So, you know, there used to be a day when the United States of America actually did something. You know, it didn't fucking hand all the jobs off to these private companies. There was no such thing as Halliburtons and all that kind of shit. Alright, that's Ronald Reagan again, and George Bush, and all them capitalist whore fuckers. So again, it's all you pro-capitalist motherfuckers who ruin this country. Modern monopolies utilize their... well, again, modern monopolies. Modern monopolies. Again, you didn't hear about Ronald Reagan getting elected, George Bush getting elected? All right. Well, you know, go back to AT&T. Who broke up AT&T, fuckhead? Who did that? Oh yeah, that's right. The government. Fuck you. Modern monopolies utilize their incestuous relationship with government to regulate and tax their competition out of business. Well, again, you showed me how that worked for AT&T. Oh, obviously it didn't. That's right, because that's right. Government was on our side in the 60s, 70s, and then government stopped being, was on the rich man's side in 1980. That's how it worked. That's right. You elect you capitalist motherfucking cunt corporate poor fuckers, and that's the kind of world we got. You elect capitalist whores, and you get a capitalist whore government. So it's not my government. It's not the fucking government of the 60s and 70s that has fucked us. It's your government, shithead. I'm sure you voted for Ronald Reagan, you fucking cunt. If you were alive. The state facilitates the formation of monopolies more than its absence. Well, again, that's not how it traditionally works since the big crash of 1930. That's not how governments work. Government was protecting us against collusion and monopolies, so you're a fucking liar. The obvious conclusion is that you're both right and you're both wrong. Well, fuck you. The obvious conclusion is you're a whiny bitch fucker who eats whatever. I don't know, dog dick. There is no way to go. There is no good way to go. Well, there's plenty of good ways. You just got to do. You got to do a little bit of work, and you don't want to do that because you're just a lazy cunt. Both statism and anarchism have good theoretical arguments. Well, what's the theoretically good argument for anarchism? Exactly how does that work? How do you have any kind of civilization at all with anarchy? It's impossible, shithead. You don't have anything called a train. You don't have anything called a river that's navigatable. You don't have sky that's navigatable. You don't have radio signal strength use. What exactly do you have under anarchism except everything's broken? Your water's polluted, your kids are molested, your life is ruined. There's no theoretical arguments in defense of anarchism, you stupid, dumb fuck. Depending on your perspective, you might decide that the less effective evil is the better of the two. No, I might decide that, damn it, I wish stupid fucks like you would take a long walk into the very cold Pacific. Fuckers. You're the fucking blight. Assholes like you voting is the fucking threat to human civilization. You're a dumb motherfucker. I never voted, oh isn't that brilliant, for the Federal Reserve. Yeah, well I never voted for a hell of a lot of shit too. I never voted for Halliburton. So fuck you. The government has an infinite supply of credit. Say again, what does that even mean? The government has an infinite supply of credit. Huh? What does that mean? It certainly isn't infinite. I mean, there is a point where people aren't going to buy the bonds when the debt gets too high. So obviously their credit rating will go nowhere. That doesn't even mean anything. It just doesn't mean anything. It's just stupid. And obviously we can't pay the interest payment. So when interest rates ever go back up again, we're all fucked because there's no way to pay the debt, the interest on the debt. Our state wouldn't be attacking other our state. Why don't can't you make a distinction? I mean, we really do understand that there's things in a big country. You have a nation and then you have states. So there's really no point in using state in the statist form, you fucking propagandist. Our state wouldn't be attacking others. Like I said, my local government isn't attacking anybody. My state government isn't attacking anybody. And the federal government, as we do understand, has preserved our borders for a few hundred years now. 200 of them anyway. Quite successfully. And even though I don't agree with what they're doing now, the fact is we have a democracy. And the fact is asswipes like you, okay, whores for money, probably voted for tax cuts in exchange for the warmonger. I didn't vote for the warmongers. Our state wouldn't be attacking others all over the world if we the people were actually taxed to do so. Yeah, oh that's right. Yeah, if we could all make a choice, then everybody'd make different choices about what gets spent and nothing would get spent. That's how it would work. That's right. If everybody could just voluntarily contribute, I'm sure there'd be $43 in the Medicare fund, and there'd be $17 in Social Security, and yeah, nobody would pay for anything if they could voluntarily choose not to donate. That's right. It isn't the people who voted for the Federal Reserve, it was the very small group of their so-called representatives who did so to gain infinite credit line, which in turn ensures that their seats are more secure. I mean, this is actually your idiotic conspiracy theory that they voted for the Federal Reserve so they get reelected. Are you really this stupid? Budget, therefore they can do so whatever they want without the need of increasing taxes beyond what the populace will tolerate. Well, again, we understand what they're increasing, and that's budget deficits with borrowed money. So again, the Federal Reserve is not printing money, it's printing bonds and selling them. And at the current moment, it's buying them because it's been told to buy them by the government. So again, the elected represents Obama's fucking QE is Obama's plan. It's not the Fed that said, I'll do it on my own without any instruction. God, you people are so stupid. Taxation isn't about funding a goddamn thing. Well, it isn't when you're not collecting enough taxes, because you gave a huge giant tax break with Ronald Reagan. That's where capital gains taxes were cut to 15%, and the 75% income tax rate was abolished. So keep pretending this isn't about Ronald Reagan. That's what it's about. Taxation in this country only exists at this point as a sociological control mechanism, nothing else. Well, you're just an idiot. You're just a fucking idiot. Yeah, they're taking in $1 trillion less than what they spend because we had this big preposterous war effort, and now they got all these military people and all this other shit, and if they start withdrawing them, taking them back, cutting the military, then you're going to have huge unemployment, and they're all psychotic, these military morons. So they're going to cause all kinds of social destruction and be very expensive because they're all going to need all kinds of therapy to be able to do their clock winding job. So yeah, that's been a huge, big, giant boost in the problem. But actual spending by government has actually plateaued. The government expenditures are not growing anymore. It's funny that you come off so dark and pessimistic, yet you're obviously optimistic, naive when it comes to the realities of statism versus theory. Well, you're a fucking cunt. You can just drop the fuck goddamn dead and fuck the fuck off, fuckhead. I mean, fuck you. What do you know about shit? You don't know about shit. Prove to me where. Show me $1 the Fed stole, you fucking asswipe. Fucking so-called progressives want to be played so badly by this technocracy that has engaged to call itself government. Well, again, do you explain what force made the working class richer and the rich poorer from the 1960s through to the 1980s? You tell me what force made that difference. You stupid motherfucking useless sack of shit. But you can tell me, you can tell it to my ass, because that's what I'm turning in your direction. Fuck you, fuck off. you rude prick. Yeah, enough of that one. Alright, sometimes I wonder if Stefan doesn't see himself as perpetually downtrodden victim, but you might like your self-loathing guys. Ah, fuck all that crap. And what makes you happy? Ignore this, just so you with the cat. Well, that's just a stupid comment too. I think I'm just going to delete it just for the fun of it. It's, you know, fuck you. I mean, obviously you wrote that in, you know, and it's just, you know, the cat doesn't make me happy, to tell you the truth, fuckhead. The cat's a big fucking pain in my ass. Alright, because some assholes like you, sloppy, lazy, pothead fuckers like you, do shit, and then somebody else has to clean that shit up. Fuck you. I don't always watch your videos, but when you do crush neo-fashion bullshit, fuck that. Some folks respond to your video to inmendham are so patronizing from the get-go. Well, that's damn true. Thanks for sorting this clown out, blah, blah, blah. You're wrong about the Fed. Here we go. So, poker-faced Todd, yeah, douchebag. Think printing, not borrowing. Again, there's $1 trillion in circulation, asshole. Have you proven something else? Is there someplace I can go where I can see the actual currency in circulation beyond $1 trillion? Can you show it to me, fuckhead? No, of course you can't. Here we go. The Treasury prints the bills and gives them to the Fed. The Fed waves a magic wand over the paper and makes it money. Well, that's not how it works anyway. The digits go into the reserve accounts. When the banks request cash to loan, they request the reserve digit be converted into cash. That's how the cash goes out. It goes out because it first goes into the reserve account, and then when it leaves the reserve account, it leaves as cash to the bank. The Fed then loans, that newly printed money to the Treasury that printed it for full face value plus interest. Yeah, they print the money and they're paid a fee, not interest, for printing the money. And this is just all such little. This is such little wheelie-dealy crap, okay? We have a budget of $3 trillion, and you're talking about little petty bullshit. The Fed turns checks and mortgages into money with that same wand. Well, that's a lie, okay? It's a lie. I'm sorry, that doesn't happen, retard. Every mortgage is accounted for in the bank. The money comes in, the deed goes into collateral. Mortgages aren't really the problem here. As long as for voting, you are sure trusting of electronic tabulation machines. Oh, Jesus. And who goes and looks at them? Oh, that's right, your next door neighbor is the one at the voting machine. Is your own neighbors. It's not some cabal of CIA agents running the elections, retard. God, you're such a stupid fuck. You're rude and retarded. But I'll leave it there for now. Fuck 'em. First off, are you under the assumption that suicide for solenoid is religious? No, I'm under the assumption that he is what he said he is. A hopophile. Yeah, this might as well be religious, right? What's the difference between faith and hope, shithead? Second, a little after 11 in, you go on a whole tangent regarding evolution where you point out that someone can subscribe to a theory without knowing the history of the theory or the figures that were important in support of it. That doesn't even make any sense. You're right, not that. You're right, not that. But that not what he said was the problem. I don't know. The problem is his parallel scenario was that the individual who believed the theory of evolution wanted to argue for his position without knowledge of it, without knowledge of its development and our knowledge of the figures that were important to its support. The figures? Oh, fuck off. What a pile of crap. Jesus. Wasted my goddamn time. Ah, these people are just so stupid. Oh, there's a Carla comment. I'm sure this is totally, off subject and idiotic. What's more valuable than a kid getting his arm ripped off? Oh, this ought to be interesting. If it doesn't get its arm ripped off but exists. So a kid who exists, okay, and is comfortable, if that kid were to just disappear, okay, and it has no parents will remember it, nobody remembers it, just disappears. If I just disappear and no one has knowledge of me, none of you can notice in any way that I disappeared, somehow that would be a worse crime than if a kid gets his arm ripped off by a wheat combine. So a kid who gets his arm ripped off, watches his arm fly off, is all bloody, hurt and everything else, 3 hours to get to the hospital, all the trauma, blah blah blah, goes through the rest of his life without an arm. That is a lesser tragedy than me disappearing with a snap of my fingers and nobody knows I was even here. Nobody misses anything. I make no contribution that matters. All the people I murdered get to live. Did I say I murdered some people? No, I meant all the people I offended. Or, yeah, fuck you, Carly, the douchebag, stupid cunt. If it didn't get its arm ripped off merely because it never existed to begin with, and was just an idea in your head. Or, if it didn't get its arm ripped off merely because it never existed to begin with and was just an idea in your head. So it's worse if a kid is just an idea in my head? Oh, I'm not going to be able to make sense out of that. Or if it doesn't get its arm ripped off merely because it never existed to begin with and was just an idea in your head. Okay, so somehow it's worse if a kid doesn't exist and it's just an idea in my head. That's worse than having its arm ripped off. If you say the latter is better, then you can make up anything that only exists as an idea in your head to claim it would be good because it didn't happen. Sorry, that's not what's taking place here. You're given a clear choice between these are the two will be's. You can clearly say, okay, what do I want? Will be this or will be that. I mean, it's not that complicated. They're two clearly in the same context. There's no point in comparing ghost stories to zombie stories. That's not what's taking place here. You're just given a clear choice. Show me something on planet Earth right now that's worth more than a kid getting its arm ripped off. That's all. Show us something. Now that's the challenge. You can't simply answer the question, right? You have to play a bullshit game. Oh, see how it resembles an ontological argument? No, I don't. I just see how you're constantly just play little weaselly games with words. So somebody's arguing with her, but she's too stupid. I'm gonna ban her eventually. She's just such a waste of my time. Alright, Pacificus wept. That's a nice name. I admire your ability to cut straight through the bullshit and get to the heart of the matter. Oh, good enough. Oh, Silanoid guy left a comment. So it would be rather hilarious. Oh, look at this crap. Shit. Inmendham doesn't understand long sentences. Interruption. He watches for like 2 words. Interruption. Then he interrupts. And I explained why I interrupt. You're making a point. I can tell when there's a period. I can tell when somebody says something. Inmendham doesn't understand long sentences. Why the fuck would I wait any longer? Isn't that a statement in and of itself? Is that what you didn't mean to say? You didn't mean to say Inmendham doesn't understand long sentences? No, I think you did mean to say that. So I interrupted and I responded to it by saying, gee, that's so irrelevant and pointless and stupid and you're just such a motherfucking cunt. Anyway, you compared suffering to a potato. This is false. I said, calling suffering an expense, no, a value, is as arbitrary as calling it a potato. And I said, clearly, so you're saying if I associate suffering with something valuable, like Holocaust victims or something, it's the same as calling Holocaust victims a potato? Yes, that's what you're saying, because you're a retarded motherfucker. Alright, 6. Pulls the definition that compounds to mind pulls a definition that corresponds to mine to his. Pulls a definition that corresponds to mine, pulls a definition that corresponds to his.